Hey, what's up, guys? So, my name is Sherman. Now, if you are visiting my YouTube channel or my website for the first time, this is probably the first video that you see. It's also an opportunity for me to welcome you to my content platform. Now, just to give you a quick introduction into who I am and what I do, right? I'm a STEAM content creator. Now, when I say STEAM, most of the time most people would be quite confused because they have no idea what STEAM means. STEAM is actually an acronym which represents science, technology, arts, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So that's what STEAM is. So I'm going to give you a quick background of who I am because I think if you were to look at my resume, I think it's very difficult to really tell what a person, who a person is, or what their passions are, their interests are, just looking at their resume. Now, I did spend most of my professional career as a software engineer, and I also done a lot of UX design, UX consulting, UX management. So that is my professional background. But growing up as a child, I have always had that passion in everything STEAM related. So ever since I was a kid, I would enjoy taking apart my toys, to look at the gears, to look at the electrical circuits inside, to see how everything works. Now, I usually don't know how to put things back at that age, but it was always very fun. It was always very interesting and something new for me. So I would constantly do that. And by the time I was 6 years old, I took apart my different toys and I built my first mechanical robot. When I was 8, my dad took me to my first programming class. I actually learned back then MS-DOS, and I sort of built my first game. Obviously, follow instructions, but I built my first game when I was 8 years old. So it was sort of a great achievement at that point in time. So that's me. I've always had a passion to learn how things work. And that's really a part of what Steve is learning. So moving to my young adult life, I became an early adopter of blogging. Right. So I've always had this passion for writing. It was sort of an unspoken passion. I never really knew how passionate I was about it. I just enjoyed doing it. I love doing it. So that was how it started. Now it was for the most part it was just a side interest until I received the opportunity to turn what I do into part of my professional career. So I started creating professional training contents and training videos and so on. So, but before that, I was really doing stuff like game tutorials, software tutorials, using a software like Camtasia by TechSmith. So I'm obviously very honored and blessed that today I am a recognized brand ambassador and influencer for TechSmith. So I get access to their tools, which I use on a regular basis. And as a content creator now, moving forward as a professional content creator, I would continue to use their tools for a lot of the online learning contents that I'll be working on. So you're gonna hear me talk a lot about it in the future. Now, while I wasn't an early adopter of YouTube like other YouTubers, like I mentioned, I did have the privilege of spending years creating professional contents. Because of my experience and the years of doing that, it eventually led me to being recognized as one of the top tech content creators in the region. Right, I once was recognized on an international level, but yeah, mostly it was regional. So it was the kind of boost in confidence that I needed to know that, hey, you know what, I'm actually really good at this. No, but back then, this was all just passion and part of my career at some point. But I never really knew that it was going to be my calling. So prior to 2018, I took a break for about 2 years, 2.5 years. And then in 2018, that was when I discovered my calling. That was when I sort of knew that, I wanted to be a content creator, and I was going to focus a lot on STEAM. So when I say STEAM, I am referring to the various industries, the fields within STEAM. But I'm also talking about STEAM education. So that relates to talking about products and kits that people like you and me, young people, they can actually take it up and get started with STEAM, right? They can start learning coding, they can start learning engineering, they can start learning about electronics and robotics and so on. So that is what I'm referring to. Now, when I first discovered my calling in 2018, it's clearly obvious that I didn't have a clear plan or vision at that point. It had to take a while for me to eventually figure out what I need to do and how I was going to go about it. I had a lot of hard knocks. I did make a lot of mistakes along the way before I could form this picture of what I needed to do. But it was all worth it. And when I look back today, I really appreciate those lessons. So now that leads me to talking about what S4l Productions is. Now, S4l, the letters S4l and the digit 4, actually means STEAM for life. So when I was thinking about the branding side of what I want to do, what came to my mind was, what is the message that I'm trying to spread or share? STEAM to me is more than just about skills. It's also about encouraging lifelong learning. And the process of encouraging lifelong learning, it also imparts this character development, character of grit. So GRIT. So that is something that I've always had. I will say that if somebody asks me, if a interviewer asks me today, like, what is that one strength you can name about yourself, I will say that I have a character of grit. I would be very determined when I want to achieve something, when I want to do something, and I am no quitter. I don't know how to quit. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing, but I don't know how to quit. And when I really want something, I would go all out for it. So that was part of my character of having that grit. Now, my hope is to be able to encourage others to take what they have experienced when they are learning about STEAM and to apply that to other parts of their lives, because a lot of the things that we learn through STEAM, the 21st century skills, grit, perseverance, determination, all of these qualities, all of these um, behaviors can be applied to other aspects of life, which can then lead to success in life. So it's not just about skills. So that is the most important thing about S4l Productions, is to spread that message. Now, moving on to the contents that I will be working on, there are 5 areas. So I will talk about professional services. I will talk about videos, online learning content, articles, and blogs. So let me quickly get started first with professional services. Now, it took a conscious decision on my part to want to focus more of my efforts and energy on potential clients and contracts that are willing to pay for premium quality outputs. So I want to share a little bit of my mistakes and experience in the past. Now, in the past, because the industry was so competitive, it was sort of an unspoken thing that everybody started, because they are so competitive and kind of desperate to want to get contracts. Everyone was lowering their price down to a level where it's just covering the cost of doing the work. And there really was no significant advantage in terms of the services and the value of the output. And as a result of that, speaking for myself and for my peers, those that I've networked with over the years, many of us end up burning out and quitting because it's not that we lost the passion. We still have the passion. It's still burning today. But at some point, there has to be a balance between passion and being realistic and being honest about our expectations. So just because a service is cheaper doesn't necessarily mean that it presents more value. So you can be I hope you get my point. So moving forward, when I think about my goals and what I want to achieve now, I want to be more focused on doing great work. Now, based on my past experience, and another mistake was that when I am too desperate to finish a job and to move on to the next job, I realized that, I'm a bit ashamed to admit it, but I didn't really put my entire soul and my heart and my mind into doing a really good job, as well as I could have done it. And in some cases, those projects, those contracts got terminated or, it didn't meet expectation. So that is on my part. And yeah, it's really a painful lesson. And on the other hand, I do have successful case studies, whereby I realized that when I charge fairly, when I charge my clients, I won't say premium, but the right amount to be charged for the work that is supposed to be produced, I realized that I end up producing really good work. And in most cases, I actually produce better than what was expected. I went beyond what was expected. And I got really good feedback. I got really good testimonies because of that. So looking at those two scenarios, I realized that I cannot be desperate. I am not the kind of person that it's not about speed for me. It's about just due diligence and I may not work as fast as others. That's true. But one thing I can guarantee is that when I am able to focus more time and energy on a project, I usually end up producing the quality of work that is, I would say, second to none. And I have a reputation for that in the successful cases. So that is what I'm going to focus on. And because now I'm doing this as a side hustle, I'm not as desperate for contracts as I used to. And with that, I will be able to focus more time and energy on each contract in order to focus great quality work. So that's on the professional services front. Now, talking about videos, this would include YouTube videos and live streams and weekly webinars, players. So these are things that I will be working on. So obviously they are public facing, public viewing videos. So this is not part of the paid content. So this will, when it comes to live streams, I would have a platform on Twitch, which I already do. So Twitch is sort of like the more ad hoc, impromptu live streams that I would do on a, I would say regular or but rather irregular basis. And there's no particular agenda. So I could be talking about a number of different topics in one session, or I could be talking about just one topic in one session. So there is no strict agenda to that. Now, when it comes to live workshops, players, so these are more focused, or I would say there will be a particular agenda to it. Like these are the points that I will cover during the live stream. And I've also spoken to brands that I'm collaborating with, and we have sort of a verbal agreement to co-host some of the players and the live streams. So that will help to add some form of dimension to the live streams that I want to create, right? So uh, those are the videos. Now moving on to online learning, this is like a baby to me. I've for a very long time wanted to do online learning content. I wanted to publish online. It's actually the very first idea that I had when I first started this journey in 2018. But clearly, I had no idea how I was going to do it until now. So there will be both free and paid contents. Now, when in terms of paid contents, I just want to put it out there and set the record straight that it's not about profit, but it's more about just generating some form of side income through that, and also to help cover the efforts that would be required to publish those learning contents. Now, free contents will usually be for introductory courses, for young people that want to learn Python, for example, they want to learn electronics, Raspberry Pi. Some of this will be free. Most of this will be free. That is my main mission. I want to keep it accessible to a lot of people. When it comes to paid content, it's going to be something like the more intermediate levels of learning or advanced levels of learning, and maybe certain topics that are more complex and require more effort in producing the content. All of this online learning is also self-paced, so folks can do it in their own time, in their own spare time. And there will be two sort of, I would say, two flavors of learning paths. One is a skill-based learning path. So when it's skill-based, we are talking about the beginner, intermediate, advanced level of a particular skill. So that is skill-based. When it comes to career-based learning path, it's more like the set of skills that you will need to do a job, a particular job. So in terms of, say, for example, you want to become a game developer in Unity and C Sharp. So naturally, you need to know two sets of skills, right? You need to know C Sharp, you need to know Unity. So then I would package those courses together, bundle it, and sell it at a certain price. Now, I'm still working on the mechanics of this paid online learning courses. I am thinking about like one-time charges, right? So you pay a certain fee and you can have access to the course or the set of courses forever. That's one way. I'm also thinking about subscription model. So this will be something that can target local, regional organizations, whereby they want to encourage lifelong learning. They want to encourage their staff to keep learning. It's really in line with everything that our government is trying to do right now, in terms of encouraging traineeships, internships, and with the economy and everything that's going on, and all the digital transformation. It sort of helped my vision. It helped my idea to grow. It gave me the avenue to launch. So yeah, I want to tie in with that. So there could be like corporate memberships, corporate subscriptions. So that is something that I would then eventually think about down the road. But it's definitely on the plate. It's something I definitely want to do. So I'm going to include that, into my contents. Now, moving on, the final two areas of contents are somewhat similar, but there is a clear differentiation in my view. When it comes to articles and blogs, articles, in my view, are written contents that are based upon facts, statistics, and expert advice. Articles are written contents that you can quote, you can cite, you can make reference to, because they are reliable information. And when it comes to blogs, it's more casual. It has a more personal flair. It's where I can really be myself and share my own thoughts and feelings about certain technologies, trends, and products. And it's really where I can also present my foresight and my observations as a thought leader in the different industries. So blogs are the perfect place for me to voice my thoughts. Yeah. All right. So those are the 5 areas of contents that I will be working on. Now, finally, I want to talk about my focus and guiding principles when it comes to the contents that I'll be producing, as well as me as a content creator, how I want to present myself. I want to take a more authentic approach to how the content is being presented. I'm not saying that other content creators are not authentic. No, that's not what I mean. I do want to say that because of having this reputation of creating trustworthy contents in the past. Now, I will say that I have a very large base of audience, of viewers or readers. In fact, actually, if I'm being very honest, my base of viewers and readers tend to be more targeted, but they are also readers and viewers that are recurring. So they keep coming back because they know that my contents are trustworthy. So that is how I see my audiences and the contents I create. So I'm going to stay on that path to remain authentic in my approach. Now, personally, as a content creator, I also want to present myself as an authentic individual. So, a very good example. Now, in the past, when I created videos, personal content, personal tech content videos in the past, a long time ago, when I first started, a lot of professionals, not a lot, I'm sorry, a small handful of professionals gave the feedback that I was too Singaporean. I was not too Singaporean. I am Singaporean, but I was using too much of that Singaporean accent. I was using a lot of Singaporean slang, and they just felt that it was difficult to understand what I was trying to convey. So for a very long time, I tried to tune myself to the international audience, the international base. And as a result, yes, I did build a name for myself on an international level. But as a result of that, I also lost my local base, the local audience, right? And then I also lost the regional base, which is a lot. It's a lot. So um, when I think back, when I was thinking about my strategy as a content creator coming into S4l Productions, I've decided that for change, I'm not going to be so focused on the international audience anymore. I believe that the gist of my contents, the meat of my contents will still be applicable to anybody all over the world. But the people that I will be speaking to, right, is going to be local Singaporeans. It's going to be regional audiences. So with that in mind, it would allow me to also be myself. And here's the thing, I've made a conscious decision that I'm not going to change who I am or how I present myself just so that I can please a small handful of people. Um, so yeah, that is part of my guiding principle. But here's the thing, if I'm doing professional videos and I'm reading through a script, reading from a script, then yes, I would be doing away with the law and the basic Singaporean slang. Um, so yeah, if you are confused when you're watching my new videos or so on, I totally understand. But yeah, that is how I will be presenting myself from now on. So when it comes to reviewing certain STEAM related products and kits, my goal will be to focus more on the learning experience, or what I would like to call product experience. It's really beyond just talking about product information, product comparison. It's more about, okay, so if I to give you an example to paint a picture for you, if I'm going to write about a new product or a product that I just received, it's not something that I would do in the first week of receiving the product. It's probably going to be videos that I generate over a period of, say, a few weeks or 1 month, and then compiling those videos together, slicing them together, to really cover the whole product experience that I had. So when I say that I want to talk about product experience or learning experience, it's also to look at, for example, how easy is it to get started with this particular product? How good were the online documentation and support? Was it easy to find what I was looking for to get the help? What sort of challenges did I face, if any, when playing with that product? So that is what I mean by product experience, learning experience. Yeah, and with that, I've come to the end of my introductory video, my welcome video. I would hope that if you are viewing this from my YouTube channel, you would subscribe, um, to receive more notifications of STEAM-related contents in the future. And if you are viewing this on my website, right now at the time of publishing this video, it is still undergoing development. So there are a lot of links and buttons that might not work yet, but I will eventually improve it and make it better. So my official targeted launch will be in April or May. That's depending on the fact that everything runs smoothly or according to plan. But let's face it, things don't always go according to plan. So I am prepared to be flexible and adaptable. But yeah, between now and the official launch, a lot of the contents that I'll be publishing are what I consider early contents because it would facilitate the effort to fine tune the website's design, the layouts, and so on. Um, so yeah, it is also additional marketing for the brands that I'm collaborating with as well. And with that, I'll end my video here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please stay safe out there and take care of yourself. Bye.